Hey guys, it's Anaconda. Welcome to a totally normal painting hanging on the wall. Which got me confused because the game said it was called The Tunnel, but the folder says it's called a totally normal painting. I always download these games and then play them later in a few days when I forget what they are. It's just this weird habit I've done, so let's just hit that. Content warning for death and grief. Okay, already, it's gonna get dark. It was a weird shift on the ambulance tonight. You got home, put the TV on, and then you just sat down. Things started normally enough. A minor car accident, a COVID call. People love to pretend we aren't in a pandemic anymore. You hope they end up getting vaccinated after this and they recover. I love to have stuff that doesn't remind me that the thing exists, because I always forget it does still. Let's just say this one, because I think some people love to pretend. Then you got a call to an 83-year-old female, possible cardiac arrest. The landlord opened the door to the apartment after the patient's daughter called out of concern. She was in her bed, an older woman, blue PJs, kind face, eyes wide open. Obviously dead. Rigor had not set in. You have to check, so you touch your jaw, you're upset. You can tell where you instinctively went to her wrist for a pulse, rock hard. Instinctly. You've seen plenty of dead patients before. You remember your first like it was yesterday. She was next to her bed. Rigor had set in. Her doll son was on top of her. Okay, hugging. I got scared for a second. I misread that. Because I thought this was something else. Don't worry. Saying, "I'm sorry, mommy." The paramedic on the other crew told you kindly let him more. You never forget what her skin felt like to touch when you check for obvious signs of death. You also never forget her name. You can never tell anyone. That's a HIPAA violation? I don't know that. It was years ago now, but you still think about her and her son. You think about the look in her eyes and the rawness of the son's mood. You know how he's doing. You snap back to tonight. Your patient in her bed, her face isn't unlike that first dead woman. You saw, but she's smaller, still in bed, much older. When you get to the apartment, the firefighters who got there first opened the door for you. They told you she was obviously dead, no CPR. You nodded, thanked them, walked to the apartment to the bedroom. She had all sorts of pictures on the walls, lots of nature. You saw hiking boots in the fire, well used. You knew something was wrong when you walked up the stairs. It didn't smell right, even with the N95. The air just didn't feel right. It smelled like death. You're used to it. The air just didn't feel right. Your partner is young and her first few shifts at the job. This is the first time she's seen a dead person outside of a funeral home. You can obviously tell. You could tell she was holding back tears. You could tell she wanted to go home. You barely remember being that great, but you remember that first body, so maybe you do have to help. Probably the second one. You looked around the bedroom for anything you could use to identify your patient. A pill bottle next to the bed. Oh, damn. Gingerly, you peered at the medication, wrote down the name on the label. Adel Harriman. You looked for anything out of place, any blood or fluids, any unusual marks without touching your patient too much. The blankets were even tousled much, no sign of distress. Though this was probably peaceful then. There's lividity, but nothing looked out of place. She'd definitely been dead at least a few hours. Your partner hovered near the open door to the bedroom. She had her pulse oximeter out, but she hesitated to go near the bed or the body. It's okay, Kelly, you can put that away. Dylan says to tell her that the person is dead, but I don't want to seem like an asshole. Kelly nodded, clutching the jump bag for dear life. You signaled for her to follow you out to the living room. The apartment was cute, colorful, and well kept. Lots of art, lots of photos on the walls. You sat on the dead woman's couch. Oh, so that's why I'm there. Doing the paperwork. A fire boss was still there talking to the landlord. You told your partner to sit top to try to relax a little. You had to remind her to put the jump bag down before she sat in the chair across from you. Honestly, when I was 8 years old, I lost two grandpas that year in 2008. I came in and I could tell what it was like to see a dead body because I didn't know better. I walked in and I saw my grandma was upset, and I remembered how scary it was, honestly, because it was pretty scary, because you're looking at someone that doesn't have a single sign of life in them, and it was just honestly fucking horrifying. And then, of course, I didn't know how to react, because there was a bunch of thoughts going off in my head, like, is he actually okay? Is he gonna wake up any minute? Is he actually fine? Why isn't his chest moving and stuff? But, you know, I kind of got... I can't really blame one of my siblings for getting mad at me about it, but, you know, we were in a grieving stage. I couldn't hit the grieving stage. It takes longer. And it still does, even after I lose other family members. It still does take a little bit for me. Because I needed to let myself, like, turn off my thoughts, sit down for a bit, and let my brain gather up the thoughts to let me understand, yeah, they're dead, they're not going to come back, and stuff like that. It's actually kind of scary, honestly, so I can understand this with that girl being terrified and all. Because I definitely understand that. I'm pretty sure most people nowadays probably, like, some kids probably don't see their dead siblings because they're far away from them, like hospitals. Like I did with the other grandpa, which was my grandma's husband, which she doesn't plan to remarry. Anyways, because, you know, why would you? And also the fact that it was honestly really sad movie. Anyways, you notice a big photo of the woman standing up on a mountaintop, grinning, Big Blue Parka. Or you notice a photo of the woman and a friend on a wooden path with smiles. A photo of the lady sitting on a rocky beach must have been a few years ago. Let's do Parka. You wondered a bit about what this woman was like, what her life was like. How often her daughter calls. Does she have a partner? A lot of friends? You always expect them to open their eyes and walk over to you. It's a feeling you can't shake. Too many horror movies, you know. Yeah, honestly, I had that feeling before, especially the most recent person I knew that passed. Well, actually, no, the scariest thing I'll just say was my father. Because he's probably on his deathbed for all I know, eventually, but it still worries me. Especially when there was a day he couldn't breathe right. It was fucking terrifying. My brain just kept telling me he's probably not gonna get an inhale because he couldn't breathe. It was terrifying. Like it's the most scariest shit I've seen, because I've seen a dead corpse, which is my grandma's like dad and stuff that was still. But to me, I thought my father was just gonna turn off any minute. Scariest shit ever, and it still haunts me. And I just hope I don't gotta experience that again, because it's probably traumatizing. Like, I feel bad for people too if they have to witness their loved ones like slowly going away too, because that shit's scary. Your partner was nervous. She keeps eyeing the door to the bedroom. I'll do this one. She looks pretty peaceful. You gestured to your tablet. Kelly followed your eyes. You showed her how to write up a DDA. It gave her something to focus on for a moment. Your eyes keep returning to those pictures. The mountain, the blue parka, the woods, the rocky beach. You could almost hear them. Wind rustling in the leaves, water crashing on the sand. Excuse me. Later that night, you sat in the truck, telling Kelly a little bit more about things you see. You tell it helps to talk about it. You told her about the first dead patient and her son. She sips on a water bottle thoughtfully and reacts painfully when she hears about the son. I don't want to, like, do that, maybe. You told her you remember a lot of your DDA calls, but at least when it looked like the person went peacefully. That one. On the subway home, you sat down, tired. The car was mostly lit. Instagram, no, you look a bunch of text from your partner. Yeah, why not? You glanced up. You saw her. Blue parka, kind eyes. It's her. Sitting down the end of the yacht. You look back down your phone. You really are tired. You squint across the yacht. Let's squint. You were just confused. Tired seeing things. It's okay. This has happened before. You closed your eyes, counted to 5, slowly opening them again. Sure, this woman looks a lot like her, but it's not possible. There are probably 1,000 older ladies in New York that parka fits. You know, you look back at your phone. Because some people do look like people. Of other people, which always freaks me out sometimes. Jesus, you're tired. You get out of your stop and walk home. It was a nice night. You thought about hiking. Maybe on a pretty mountain. And here you are now, sitting on your couch. You're barely watching the TV, sipping a lime something. You wonder what she was dreaming of if she went in her sleep. You think about all those adventures she had, from the pictures in the apartment. Was she dreaming of that mountain, that beach, those woods? It might be the TV, but you could swear you hear it. The waves, the rustling of the leaves in the trees. I mean, especially with my mom's relatives I call Big Grandpa, his last moments, I literally was outside of the room because everybody was visiting him. And I'm pretty sure we were going to leave eventually. And then he passed while I was literally in the hallway. And so, while my feelings were still setting in, I started comforting, like, any family member that came to me that needed help. Especially my big sister, because I knew it was going to be pretty hard. And so I try to keep my cool a bit, because I know once someone passes, they pass. Because if they can't feel pain anymore once they pass on, the pain goes away. And you know, you can't really like hide your tears, because that shit's going to get bottled up. Just let it out. And even as a guy, I'm saying, you're not going to become a coward if you cry, dude. Just fucking cry, damn. I'll never understand those dudes, but they're like, oh, don't keep crying, but then shit. Like, no, you should. Because if it's somebody you care about, just let those tears flow, dude. Turn on the faucets, let it all out. Because you won't be fine if you don't let that shit out. I'm just saying, you don't let it out, it's going to be a problem. It's actually kind of peaceful. You think about telling your partner all about all this, but maybe you should sleep on it first. You turn off the TV. You look at that painting on the wall, maybe for the first time. Why does it look like someone has footprints here? Oh, I'm good. You sure you bought it at Mocha or something, but you can't remember when or where you put it up? Doesn't matter much, at least you decorated, right? You get some sleep, you have some weird dreams, and you'll just carry on tomorrow. But you won't forget her. You never do. Could continue to reset. Oh, is there a new path? Wait a minute, I just realized the footprints just went away. So that's actually kind of nice. That the steps appear, and they stop right here, and they go to the painting. So it's not just a painting. Great, no wonder you called the game that. A totally normal painting hanging on the wall. It obviously isn't, because this dude knows he bought it, but he doesn't know if he put it up or not. That's kind of haunting. But I don't know, that's actually kind of nice. This was a sweet story, honestly. I kind of loved it.